What's going on, everybody? This is a repost, and I am talking about the Bulls draft picks of Wendell Carter and Chandler Hutchison. And the reason why I'm posting this on this channel is because I originally posted it on my second channel, which for a while was going to be the all basketball channel, but I switched it back, and obviously now this one is the all basketball channel. But this video was getting so much love on that channel, and I was actually even getting people subscribing to the channel for Bulls content, which is something that I definitely plan to be a major part of this channel, as you can tell by the branding on my main channel art there. So I said, you know what, this seems like something that should also be on this channel so that people can see it here in case they missed it on the other channel. So I'm going to go right into the video, already set it up, the whole nine. Here you go, me talking about the pros and cons of Wendell Carter and Chandler Hutchison. What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik, the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and I'm here to talk NBA draft. We're going to talk about my Chicago Bulls and their draft picks, Wendell Carter Jr. and Chandler Hutchison. I'm going to give you my pros and my cons of the selections. Now remember, leave a like on the video, and also don't forget to subscribe and click that notifications bell so that you will know when more basketball videos drop. So let's start at the top. Number 7 pick overall, Wendell Carter Jr., 19 years old, 6'10", 258 plus pounds, Duke University. Spent one season there playing under Coach Krzyzewski. Played with some really good talent: Marvin Bagley the third, Trayvon Duval, Gary Trent, just on and on, right? Really good talent he played with. Comes from obviously a great program. I would call Wendell Carter Jr. a really safe pick, probably one of the safest picks that you could make in the top 8, right? So I'm going to talk about what I see as the positives of the Wendell Carter Jr. pick. Wendell Carter Jr. can immediately, I think, step in and play center for your team, for the Bulls. I think he can start from day one. Okay, I think you put him alongside Lauri Markkanen, who's playing the 4, and I think you have a young and capable 4-5 combo who can really probably play both of those positions for the Bulls for the foreseeable future, right? Wendell Carter Jr. is an outstanding rebounder. He has very solid post moves. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say his offensive post moves are probably the most developed of any of the big man prospects, and I would even say over DeAndre Ayton. Now, DeAndre Ayton is a little bigger player. He's more athletic. He's physically stronger, even though Wendell Carter Jr. is not a weak kid at all. But Ayton's thing is his fit as a physical specimen. He is just a freak, right? But as far as skills, footwork, touch, and the like, I would say that Wendell Carter Jr. is probably a little bit more refined in that area. Also has the ability to step outside and knock down jump shots as well. Maybe not to the tune of a player that you could call a stretch 4 or a stretch 5, but you will say that he has at least a form to be able to knock down jump shots effectively. His personality and intangibles and mental makeup seem to be rock solid. We know how the Bulls like to draft, so he definitely seems to fit into the type of player, or the identity of the type of player that you would expect the Bulls to draft. Now let's look at the cons. This was a year that I felt that the Bulls might be able to take a risk in an effort to try to solidify a superstar. We all know that winning a championship in the NBA requires at the very least 2 superstars. The question for the Bulls is one of those superstars even on this team right now before Wendell Carter Jr.? So is Lauri Markkanen a superstar waiting to happen? Is Zach LaVine a superstar? Is Chris Dunn a superstar? Right? You got to have at least 2 to win a championship in this league. As good as Wendell Carter is and as solid as he seems, he just doesn't scream to me future superstar. Now, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. As a lifetime Bulls fan, I hope I'm wrong. But I must say, he doesn't appear to be that kind of a guy. He seems like a solid player who may even put up 17 and 10 or, 18 and 10 in his best season. But is he the type of player who makes a difference between winning and losing postseason games? We can look up and down the history of the NBA, and you can find a ton of players who put together seasons after seasons of 18 and 10s and 17 and 9 type seasons, which makes you clearly a way above average player. But it never translated to them being a key cog in a championship level team. And that is, to me, what the Bulls need to be searching for. Now, they may think otherwise, and if they think that Wendell Carter is that guy, then great. I've heard a lot of Al Horford comparisons, which I think makes sense if you watch him play, and Al Horford is outstanding as a player. I don't know that Al Horford is a key cog in a championship team. He hasn't been that yet. We don't know what could have happened with the Celtics this year if Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward don't go down. And we don't know what's going to happen next year when presumably both of those guys will be healthy. So those are my questions when it comes to Wendell Carter Jr. So now let's move to the late pick in the first round that the Bulls had when they selected Chandler Hutchison. Now, it was known for a while, or at least believed for a while, that the Bulls would take Chandler Hutchison. He was supposedly given a promise from the Bulls that he would be selected with the 22nd pick if he were there, and he was there, and he was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. Hutchison is a player that I really like. As I watched, as we started to hear more and more about him potentially being a Bull, and I really started paying a lot of attention to him, doing as much research as possible, looking at all these different videos and statistics on him and that sort of thing, I started to really like the upside. Now, it's crazy when we talk about upside, because we used to talk about upside only with players, just with guys that come out of the draft period. Now, that whole upside conversation seems to have been reserved only for the 19 and 20-year-olds who enter the draft, and not guys who might be, 22 or 21 years old. Those are considered older prospects now, which is really kind of crazy when you think about it. But unfortunately for the Bulls, and maybe Bulls fans who buy into that, Chandler Hutchison would fall into that category because he's 22 years old, turned 22 on April 26th. But nonetheless, he is 6'7", 196 pounds in the 200-pound range, long arms, extremely versatile, can handle the ball in transition, can create in transition. His jump shot, I think, is still a work in progress. If you look at his form, it kind of has a few, maybe a little bit of slowness to the bring up, and the release, it takes a little bit of time to develop. So you kind of worry and wonder, will he be able to create space for that jump shot on the NBA level, and will he be able to create offense for himself, period. But what I think you know from the beginning is that he's going to be able to handle the ball. He's going to be a good decision maker in transition. He's going to be a good defender, and I think he's going to be an above average rebounder at the small forward position. What he gives you offensively, I think, is going to really determine how good he can be, because those other aspects of the game, I think he'll handle, right? I'm going to throw out 4 comparisons, or 4 names, or 4 NBA comps that I think I see, and I'm going to go high end and low end. High end for Chandler Hutchison, by my eye, is a Scottie Pippen, Paul George type. Now, that's ceiling, right? That's if he maxes out and becomes what I think he could potentially become. Now, if he is solid, so let's say, we're going to go with 5 comparisons, right, instead of 4. So say he's solid, right? Not spectacular, but solid. I could see Trevor Ariza, Nicholas Batum. Okay, right in that range. And I think the Bulls would more than likely be happy if they were able to get somebody on that level with the 22nd pick overall. But if he does not pan out exactly the way the Bulls want him to pan out, and doesn't become anything truly special, and I mean no disrespect to this player when I throw his name out there, and Bulls fans, we're definitely acquainted with him. And if you remember, Bulls fans will remember the Bulls took this particular player I'm about to name over Brandon Roy. And the player I'm going to say is Thabo Sefalasha. And I think that is Chandler Hutchison's floor. Not quite the ball handler that maybe the Bulls thought he could have been. Still a solid defender. Thabo was a solid defender his entire career. Has been a really good defender his whole career. Jump shot came along later in his career, but it was something that he struggled with overall. Still had good length, good size, good strength for the position. But offensively just never really became a factor at all. So for me, that's floor for Chandler Hutchison. So obviously, as a Bulls fan, I'm eager to watch and see these guys get going. Gonna watch them play in summer league basketball, of course, as well as the other rookies in the NBA. So I've talked about the Bulls, but I want to know if you guys have teams of your own that you'd like to hear my opinions on their draft picks or what have you. By all means, leave that in the comment section. And, you know, if we get enough requests or get enough people asking for breakdowns or my opinions on their team's draft picks, I would definitely go ahead and put videos out for those. But I figured I'd start off with my Bulls and go from there. So, as always, I talk sports, I talk gaming, and I also appreciate you watching. God bless and peace.
I'll be weak, I'm rather unique.